and especially for me and for BUCC also. We started BUCC in 2019, but for a long time we didn't have any activities for refugees because we didn't have anyone to support us financially. Muzafar, someone that called me, Baqir, I want to support you. Don't worry about support, just start it. Today, he not only support BUCC, he support 5 other refugees initiatives in the Indonesia. Imagine how it's difficult. So having refugee, how it's important that he is doing. Now he really I appreciate him. Today we are running our initiatives because of his support. I don't want to say a lot of things about him because I want to hear from him. Let me and join me in welcoming Muzafar Ali.
Thank you. Baqir Jan, Tashakur, thank you very much. Can I start speaking?
Yes, you can start.
Thank you very much. I would start that I'm on Ghana land in Australia, the traditional custodians of this land, who they were living for more than 60 years. I respect their past, present, and elders. I have been traveling since past a couple of days and haven't been able to sit in somewhere at home. So I'm really sorry if you are hearing something in the background because I tried to find a quieter place, which is this local library. So still I'm sitting outside. I hope I'm not disturbing anyone. But yeah, I'm very privileged, very happy to be among this amazing group of refugees around the world who, like Baqir, Hafsar, Ms. Halima, if she is online. I'm so happy to be part of this celebration. As Baqir mentioned, my name is Muzafar Ali. I'm a Hazara ethnic community member in Afghanistan. And I'm from Uruzgan province. I was very young when I became refugee. I was just few months old when my parents became refugee, came to Pakistan, and I was raised in Pakistan. I got basic education. And I spent my early age in Pakistan, where I lost many of my friends because of violence after 9/11 that diverted from Afghanistan into Pakistan, targeting Hazara communities. I was passionate about football, and many of my football teammates, they were targeted, they were killed. I returned in Afghanistan in 2004. So I got a job as soon as I returned in Afghanistan because I could speak English. And I could communicate. So I got a job, and my job was to negotiate with the local commanders and the warlords to convince them to disarm their illegal war groups. That was a huge job for me, a newcomer in Afghanistan after a long time. I was just 18 with that big task. But the good thing was that I got a chance to work with the communities because they were the real power to convince local commanders, not me. I worked in that position for 2 years. We had a good success because we could announce one district as peace district because all local warlords, they gave up their weapons, they joined the peace process, and the community was playing a very important role. But then I also worked and helped the Human Rights Department of the UN, United Nations in the Kundi province. They started, they actually trained and gave a workshop to the prisoners in the Kundi province. Majority of those prisoners were accused of killing someone. But when we had this workshop, we, apart from their restrictions and their limitations they were imposed or they have to obey in the prison, but they were entitled to some rights, including education. So we started a school in a prison. And in 3 years, we had some graduates, high school graduates from that prison. So that was kind of an achievement and a knowledge that I learned in Afghanistan that education is a human right. no matter who you are, but you can get right to get education. So I became refugee again in 2012 when Taliban stopped my car, and my wife was sitting beside me. My daughter was just 2 years old, and the Taliban stopped and said, "Where are you going?" I was scared because, to be honest, if they knew that I was working with the UN, they could have killed me. But what I learned from the UN that I have to be calm, and I told them my daughter is sick, so I could go go to the doctor. So he just let me go. And the next day I became refugee. I came to Pakistan, and that was January 2013. I came to Pakistan. There was one bomb blast on, I think, 6th or 5th of January. And then in that blast, more than 100 Hazaras were killed. After 40 days, there was another blast. 1,000 kilos of explosive was detonated in Quetta, in Hazara populated area. It was a total carnage. More than 100 people again killed. They were all civilians and Hazaras. So I decided to leave. I took all my family members. I came to Indonesia. So the long story short, I met some really amazing friends in Indonesia, and we started a school. We knew that education is a right, but school is one project or one activity that we could do without seeking any help from anyone, because many of these community members, they were educated men and women. They were interpreters. They had experience to work in Afghanistan or Pakistan in local or international NGOs. So we thought there could be teachers, there could be community organizers, and that's how we can support each other instead of waiting any organization to come and help us. But we had some components that we could utilize or we could use, and we could support each other. So we started that school on 4th of August 2014, after 9 months of consultation with the community members. So at the beginning, there were a lot of questions, a lot of fears within community that they could be arrested, because there was no clear guideline by UNHCR, by the immigration department, that whether they can teach or not. But you know, Afghanistan experience was really helpful for me, that even when prisoners have right to get education, so refugees definitely have right to get education, because education is sustainable development goal. So that was a huge success. Within a week, we got 9 teachers, 55 students, and there was a long list. So that was that gave us a confidence that refugees, instead of waiting someone to do something for them, we could do something for ourselves. And the best part of all these initiatives was that the women came in. Women from Afghanistan and Pakistan, usually they are not given enough rights or enough chance to participate in community events. So they became teachers. It means like they were more exposed to any kind of potential risk of being arrested. Simultaneously, we got engaged with the outside communities in Cisarua, I mean, with non-refugee communities around the world, particularly Australia. We got a good fundraising from them. And we also filmed our life. So when we finished the film, we screened this across Australia, and we did huge fundraising for our school. And also we realized to a stage that the funding and the support we are receiving is more than enough for our school. Now, by that time in 2018, we got more than 200 students, but we also support setting up other schools. We had 5 schools. We helped them directly. We shared resources with them. When we had teachers, trainers from Australia, we invited their teachers to come and get trainings. And one thing in our mind was that the schools should be sustainable. The schools and systems should be self-sufficient and helping each other, not in any competition with each other. So that was a huge success in that term as well. So now we established our organization. It's called Cisarua Learning. The main aim of Cisarua Learning is to empower refugees to be their own advocates, to help themselves, and to provide education. So I met Baqir in Bangkok in 2019. He was an amazing young man with a lot of energy and passion to work for his community, and I thought we could support his ideas. So when we started the school, someone gave us $200 that we rent a building to start that school. And I thought we can also help the same way. And that's how we really support any kind of grassroots ideas that grassroots idea work. So I would not say that I'm the hero, but it's the refugees. They're heroes. And we also believe that refugees have energy. They have the agency to turn the challenges into opportunities for themselves. But they need a little kind of push or support. If the non-refugee community give that push and give a chance for refugees to represent themselves, to be supporting each other, that's the best thing they can give to a refugee. So today we are celebrating Refugee Week from today. I think the message is that don't think refugees are just people or numbers, but they're actually individuals with emotions, with agency, with power. And whatever we do is to empower their capabilities, to let them do whatever they want instead of just imposing our own ideas on them. And I think bigger organizations such as UNHCR or EPRIN must consider more refugee participation and consider them as a partner, not just recipients of humanitarian aid. Thank you very much.
Wow, it's amazing. And I really appreciate the EPRIN that I have been in their summit, and I meet Muzafar. And today we come a long way, long time, and I'm so happy to meet Muzafar and become a friend of Muzafar, become a partner to work for refugees. Thank you, Muzafar, for sharing this amazing story.